This comma, in place of comma, I am placing that here. He said that. Now I am no more using comma. Okay. So here I have taken a conjunction for my help. This is a conjunction. That is a conjunction because it is joining the quoted speech and the actual speaker's words. Sorry, the person who is here, the subject. Okay. So I treat it as a conjunction. The comma gets converted into conjunction here. He said that now what about I? I got converted into he because he already mentioned it depends upon us. If you think that person is a lady, you go for she. If you think the person is a gent, you go for he. Okay. He wrote, this is wrote as it is, a letter, what is this? This is this part is going to be here. Alright. Now did you see here how we got this? Okay, he said that he wrote a letter and I ended it with full stop. How easily we got it right? He said, I write a letter. And when we convert this quoted speech into reported speech, we are just changing few changes. We are making few necessary changes, not many, very few. The first change is near that, added a conjunction. Next, we changed the pronoun. Yes, we converted I into he. See, there is a rule here. I can get converted into he. So the same thing we did, and we converted the simple present verb into simple past verb. So the same rule got applied here. We did it, and the rest of the sentence, since it is an object can be copied as it is. Now I would like to use extra information to my sentence, and I want to use here like this. He said, I write a letter today. Okay, my information is this. I write a letter today. Okay, and now see, I am going to bring he and said as it is. Okay, and what I supposed to change? In place of comma, I supposed to place that, and in place of I am supposed to add he, and in place of write I am supposed to add wrote, because this is a simple present, and when a simple present converted into indirect speech, it gets converted into a simple past, and the remaining should be copied as it is, a letter, and see some change. Today is telling something about the time of action that is going to take place. So today gets converted into that day. Okay, and full stop, finish. See here, today got converted into that day. So the same change we have made here. Today got converted into that day, and this is the quoted speech and this is the reported speech. The quoted speech is always in the always in the quotational marks, and the reported speech is always followed by a conjunction. Okay, and sometimes, always, not sometimes, always the tense of the verb changes and the pronoun changes and also the time of action changes. So these all 3 points you have to remember when converting a direct speech into indirect speech. Now I would like to use some more information here. I write a letter now. Now I changed my external part of the sentence. I write a letter now. So instead of now, what are you supposed to use? This is the time sequence it's mentioning. So instead of now, you have to mention then. Full stop. That's it. Okay? Is it clear for you? Is it clear? Very good. Now, I want to show you one more example. That is, he said, do you? I would like to introduce all the questions once we finish with all the positive sentences. So if we bring them in between this information, again you get a little bit confused. So I would like to introduce the next part of the verb. Okay. Now this is the first case. Now when we take the second case, this is our first case. In our second case, I am going to take the same sentence. He said, I am writing a letter to my father. Okay, I am not adding any extra information. In fact, I am stopping with the simple sentences. He said, I am writing a letter to my dad or whatever it is. Okay. Now this was in simple present. The reported speech here was, the quoted speech in the first example is in a simple present. But in the second example, the quoted speech is in the which tense? Very good. It is a present continuous tense. The same thing you can copy, but only one thing you have to change. What is that? The tense. Now let's convert this into reported speech. We can. He said, this comma becomes that I am writing. He said that. I gets converted into he. Okay, all right, I'll give in a reading. He, and am gets converted into was writing. Am writing gets converted into was writing, and remaining part of the letter is same. The same thing you have to copy down. This is your actual reported speech, and this is your quoted speech in your second example. So this is about the present continuous tense. So now you understood? Present, simple present tense got converted into simple past tense, and present continuous tense got converted into past continuous tense. Is it clear? Now let us see what happens when a perfect tense is getting converted. Rule number 3. See, my quoted speech is this. He said, I have written a letter. Okay, he said, I have written a letter, and I ended it with full stop and I closed it with inverted commas, closed inverted commas. Now what I supposed to use here to convert this quoted speech into reported speech? This is my quoted speech and this is my reported speech. I need to focus on three areas. First, conversion of comma into the conjunction. That conjunction doesn't mean that you can take any conjunction, and, since, for, no. Okay, so not these, because you cannot take all those things, only that you have to take it. So comma gets converted into conjunction, and you need to change the pronoun, and you also need to change the tense verb tense. Okay, all right. This is like this. He said that. Very good. Comma is going to get converted into that. Then I gets converted into he. Remember, which tense is this in actually? Exactly, this is in present perfect tense. So whenever a tense is in perfect present tense in the quoted speech, when it gets changed into a reported speech, the present perfect tense gets converted into past perfect tense. So what is the word for past perfect tense? Had. Very good. Had written. Had written, and the remaining part of the object we are going to bring it on as it is. A letter. That's it. No inverted commas as we ended in our quotation speech. Okay, so we are not end it with the inverted commas in the reported speech, just end it with a full stop. This is about our quoted and reported speech in the respective three tenses. In the simple present tense, the quoted speech of simple present tense got converted into simple past tense when it comes to indirect speech, and present continuous tense got converted into past continuous tense in the indirect speech, and the quoted speech, which is in present perfect tense, got converted into past perfect tense when it is in the reported speech. Okay, so this is about the respective three tenses, and we are going to do few more tenses. Don't worry. Okay, clearly we are going to explain about the remaining tenses. Okay, now we are ready with our next example. Same example, let us take the same example. If you catch the same example, you will understand the variations very easily. Don't go with different examples because you like the sentences very well. No, don't do that. Always try to do with the same example. When you do with the same example, you can easily identify the change. Okay, now see, what's my next speech? My next rule. Yes, in my quoted speech, I saying, he said, I have been writing a letter. That's it. I am not giving extra information. Just I ended it till letter. He said, I have been writing a letter. This is B-E-E-N. It's not Mr. Bean. B-E-E-N. And this is my quoted speech. Now I would like to convert this quoted speech into reported speech. And this is going to be my reported speech. I say, he said, and this comma is going to get converted into that. Very good. He said that, and he said that. And what is, okay, let me give you something in black ink because that is more attractive for us in the black ink. when we are writing the complete sentence in red ink, it's not so catchy. Okay, yeah. He said, very good. Now this comma gets converted into that. Exactly. Now the pronoun gets converted into he. Why he? Because it's a male gender. It's already mentioned in the subject that the speaker is a male person. Okay, so we mentioned he. And see, this is the tense of the sentence that we have to focus now. Which tense is the sentence situated in? Very good. This tense is in present perfect continuous tense. It is a present perfect continuous tense. So, have been writing gets converted into had been writing. Is it clear? Yes, present perfect continuous tense gets converted into past perfect continuous tense. Hence, have been writing or has been writing gets converted into had been writing in terms of reported speech. So, the remaining part of the sentence that is left over here is object. So, bring this object. Simple. Now your reported speech is ready for us. Yes, he said that he had been writing a letter. Is it clear, students? Now if we give you some examples, are you able to do this? Very good. Now let us understand the fifth rule. Now we have finished dealing with the examples with all the present tenses. Now we have entered into the zone of past tenses. In the past tenses, we have got 4 subtenses like simple, past, past continuous, past perfect and past perfect continuous. And today let us see how these past tenses are going to get converted. So for this I want to clear this area. I just want to begin it from the top so that all the 4 tenses we can write at a stretch. Okay? Alright. See, this is my 5th rule and my quoted speech is this. My quoted speech I am going to introduce, that is he said, begin the inverted commas, I wrote a letter, full stop and close the inverted commas. This is my quoted speech. Okay. Now I should convert this quoted speech into reported speech. What's reported speech? Yeah, reported speech is nothing, that's indirect speech. So we call the indirect speech as a reported speech. Don't get confused about it. Okay. Alright. Any issues? Any doubts? No doubts? Okay, you are going to get few more doubts. Finally, see, look on the board. He said, I wrote a letter. Which tense is this sentence located? Yes, this is in the simple past. This tense of the verb is in simple past. So, what happens if the quoted speech is given in simple past? We came to understand, we did that when a simple present is given, it got converted into simple past. But what happens if simple past directly is given in the quoted speech? Let us see what's going to happen. I am going to rewrite the beginning as it is. He said, I don't want to introduce all the terminology that we use in English grammar, students, because we have nothing to do with the terminology here. We have more and more to do with the techniques. So when you focus on the techniques, you are least bothered about the terminology. In the examination, they don't ask you what is the terminology of this particular sentence or something else. In fact, they only ask you just to convert them in a relevant thing or a structure. That's it. So rather than focusing on the terminology, please focus on the techniques that we are following here. Okay. So first the technique, that is comma. Convert this comma into that. That is a first tip. Next tip, this is the pronoun that we come across here in the beginning of the quoted speech. I gets converted into he, because already there is a rule in the Proverbs that I got converted into he. The same way, now our next observation is with tense part. Since this is a simple past, always simple. The quoted speech, if quoted speech is produced in simple past, always it is to be converted into the past perfect. So wrote becomes had written. Okay, had written. Again we don't go back or we don't go to future tense. We just convert this into past perfect. That's it. Had written a letter. This is the actual reporting sentence that we got. So he said, I wrote a letter, got converted into reporting speech in this way. He said that he had written a letter. Very simple. In our present tenses, what else we have converted into past perfect? Yes, the present perfect got converted into past perfect. Again, not only the present perfect, even simple past is also going to get converted into past perfect. That means two tenses can have a same root. Okay, I want to reach Hyderabad. I take up Krishna Express and Godavari Express. This is with the present perfect and this is past simple past. So whatever I use, my destination is same, that is had. Okay, that you have to understand. So if you understand these small techniques, these direct and indirect speeches are very easy for you. Next, rule number 6. Let us see how the rule number 6 is going to apply here. See the quoted sentence. Now I am giving a quoted sentence in this way. He said, begin the inverted commas, I was writing a letter, close the inverted commas, put full stop, then close the inverted commas. First place full stop, then place the inverted commas. Is it clear? Now this is my quoted speech. Now try to observe the tense of the quoted speech when you are converting this quoted speech into reported speech. Was writing. Okay. So is writing got converted into was writing. Is it not? So now what are we going to do? He said, I was writing a letter. So what are you supposed to do here? Yes, we are going to do it.